Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you ever felt like cloud computing is like speaking a foreign language? Well, I remember the first time I opened the Azure portal, I was so confused. I didn't even know what was going on there and what to do. But you know what? In this video, I'm going to be helping you out by giving you some of the key terminologies used in Azure, and it will go a long way helping you understand some of those big words: resource group, Azure portal, network security group, Azure Active Directory, a couple of these terminologies, and I've compiled all of these to help you out in this video. Just to keep an outline of what we're going to be covering in this video, what I've tried to do is to segment this into 5 different blocks. The first is general Azure concept, then we'll look at the compute services, storage services, networking, security, and identity. Let's start with the basics, some general Azure concept that are foundational working with Azure. The Azure portal is a web-based interface for managing and monitoring Azure resources. Imagine this as the dashboard of your car that shows you all the controls and status indicators at a glance. The Azure portal is the main tool most users will interact with to manage their environment. Through the Azure portal, you can create, configure, and monitor resources. You can log into this using the portal.azure.com with your Azure account credentials. The second is the resource group. A resource group is a logical container where Azure resources like virtual machines, storage accounts, and databases are organized. Think of this as a folder on your computer where you keep related files together. It simplifies resource management by grouping everything related to a specific project. You can assign permissions, monitor costs, and deploy multiple resources as a group. Resource groups are created in Azure portal or using Azure CLI PowerShell when deploying resources. Let's talk about Azure subscription. An Azure subscription is a container for your Azure resources, tied to your billing and usage information. You can think of it like signing up for a gym membership. Your subscription determines which facilities you have access to and how you'll be billed accordingly. It's the starting point for using Azure services and keeps all your activities organized. Subscription allows you to create and manage resources like virtual machines, databases, or just any resource you like to use in Azure. You can also have multiple subscriptions for different purposes. You could have one for your personal, you could have another one for business. To create a subscription, you simply log into Azure portal and select a plan that suits your needs and is mostly pay as you go, or you could use the prepaid. And finally, the Azure regions. The regions are one of the things you come in contact with when you start using Azure. The regions are geographical areas where Microsoft has data centers to host Azure services. Choosing a region is just like picking the closest warehouse for faster delivery of your online order when you place an order online. When creating resources, you choose the region where they'll be deployed. Regions are selected during the resource creation process in Azure portal or CLI, and you are required to just put in the region, and typically you choose a region that is quite closest to you just to reduce latency and make all of your resources work faster. Now let's talk about compute services. This is where all the processing happens. Whenever you talk about compute, you're looking at processes, things that work behind the scene to make everything hold together. The first is the virtual machines. A virtual machine is an emulation of a physical computer that runs in Azure. Think about it like renting a fully customizable workspace in a shared building. Virtual machines provide the flexibility of a physical computer without the need to own hardware. You can host apps, databases, or development environments on a virtual machine. To create a virtual machine in Azure portal, you do that by going on Azure portals, specify the configurations like the OS, the size, and the regions, and a couple of other configurations you have to do, and you could just have a virtual machine up and running. Remember, you have to have a subscription to be able to do all of these. The app services. The app services is a fully managed platform for building and hosting web apps, RESTful APIs, and mobile backends. One of the ways to think about this is just imagine this like renting a pre-built house where you only need to move in your furniture. And in this case, your furniture is your code. This reduces the time and effort required to deploy and manage applications. Deploy web apps or APIs with features like auto-scaling and custom domains. Use the Azure portal to create an app service and deploy your app. Azure Functions. Azure Functions are lightweight pieces of code that executes in response to events, like a light switch that turns on only when you need it. Think of them as a task-specific tool, like a calculator that you only need when you want to perform a particular process. They are useful for automating processes or responding to real-time events. Azure functions can be accessed and configured through the Azure portal or VS Code when you're working on a particular project. Azure Kubernetes Services, or AKS. AKS is a managed container orchestration service based on Kubernetes. To help you understand this, just imagine this as a smart factory that manages tiny homes. And these tiny homes, you could call them containers for your applications. AKS simplifies deploying, scaling, and maintaining containerized apps. You can use it to handle complex microservice architectures. AKS can be up through the Azure portal or command line tools like the Azure CLI. When it comes to storage, just think of your Azure resources as different types of storage spaces. They're basically the same, but they just have different functions in helping you store different data and files. Blob storage. Blob storage is a service for storing large amounts of unstructured data like text and binary data. Think of this as a digital attic where you store files like photos, videos, and backups. It's ideal for storing and accessing massive amounts of data. Store backups, logs, and media files and don't require complex structures. Create a storage account in the Azure portal and configure a Blob container. The Azure Files. The Azure Files is a fully managed file share in the cloud that you can access using the SMB protocol. Think of this as a shared drive in your office that everyone can access from anywhere. It's very useful for sharing data across multiple users or applications. To create an Azure file, you just go to the Azure portal and connect it to your local system or a virtual machine if you have one set up already. The disk storage. Disk storage provides persistent data storage for virtual machines. Imagine this as a hard drive for your computer, ensuring that data stays available even when the VM is off. It's great for workloads requiring high performance or reliability. Create and attach a disk to a virtual machine through the Azure portal or your CLI. The last is the Azure Data Lake Storage. The Azure Data Lake Storage is a scalable storage solution optimized for big data analytics. And you could just think of this as a massive digital library designed for storing books. And in this case, the books are your data of all sizes. It's very useful for analyzing and processing large data sets. Data Lake Storage can be accessed and managed via the Azure portal or Azure Storage Explorer. Essentially, networking is how all your Azure resources communicate with one another. Let's just look into the essential part of this, which is very important for cloud computing. The VNet, or what you call the virtual network. A virtual network is your private cloud network that connects all your Azure resources securely. Think of the virtual network like you building a private root system for all your applications. The virtual network ensures secure communication between resources. VNets are used to isolate applications and extend on-premise networks to cloud. VNet can be created and configured in the Azure portal. The next is the Azure Load Balancer. The Azure Load Balancer distributes incoming network traffic across multiple resources to ensure no single resource is overwhelmed. Imagine this as a restaurant host who seats customers evenly across tables. The host just ensures that everybody is evenly seated across the different tables and all of the aisles within the restaurant. This is very critical for maintaining high availability and performance of all of your applications, and that is why it's very important to have the load balancer that ensures that everything is well segmented. Load balancers are configured in the Azure portal or through different scripts if you want to use script to do that, or the CLI. Azure DNS is a hosting service for domain name records. Think of this as the phone book of the internet that translates human readable domain names into IP addresses. It's useful for making your applications easily accessible to users. Configure DNS records in the Azure portal to route traffic effectively. Application Gateway. The Application Gateway is a web traffic load balancer that enables routing based on application level policies. Imagine this as a receptionist who directs customers to the right department. It's perfect for managing complex web applications and ensuring secure communication setup. Application Gateway is in the Azure portal and you can configure it on the Azure portal. Finally, let's talk about security and identity management. This is very critical for protecting your cloud environment. The first is Azure Active Directory. You know this as Azure AD. Azure AD is Microsoft cloud-based identity and access management service. Think of this as the gatekeeper for your environment. It ensures that only authorized users can access any resource. It's very critical for managing users, groups, permissions. To configure an Azure AD, you go to the Azure portal and you could do that directly. The second is the Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is a secure place to store and manage sensitive information like secret, keys, certificates. Just like the name implies, think of it like the bank key vault where you keep your most valuable document. This helps to protect your applications by securely managing access to these secrets. You could simply set up this by going to the Azure portal. You can also do it with your script. The next is Network Security Group, NSGs. The NSGs are like security guards for your network, controlling traffic flow to and from your resources. Think of these as checkpoints, ensuring only authorized traffic gets through. Use them to define rules for inbound and outbound traffic. To configure NSGs in the Azure environment, just go to the Azure portal and you should be able to do that. You could also do it with your script. The final one here is the Azure Firewall. Azure Firewall is a managed cloud-based network security service. Imagine this as a fortress wall protecting your entire network. It provides centralized protection for your resources and blocks malicious traffic. You could simply set up this on the Azure portal, or you could do this through the script. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful. Please like, subscribe, and share with others so that they can have access to this as well. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye for now.